everyone, I am Kim Porter, and I get a lot of inquiries from aspiring makeup artists and want to know what my story is, how I got started in makeup, and so I just want to share that story with you. I own Makeup by Kim Porter, and I also do business coaching. I have Kim Porter TV, I own a makeup studio, and also a makeup line. So I'll just start at the beginning and just let you know kind of how my story went. And, there's a lot of ups and downs. And so, it's just like any other successful business owner, you all have that kind of roller coaster ride. So starting at the beginning, 2001, 17 years ago, right now as I'm filming this, I started at a cosmetic store. I was really doing it just because I needed a part-time job as I was going to community college, and I was taking classes to become a teacher. And so I started working at this cosmetic store just because it sounded like fun. I didn't know anything about makeup. I didn't wear makeup. And so it was really just starting from the very beginning, learning like from corporate videos and pamphlets and things, and trying to just learn how to really sell the makeup. I wasn't really starting there thinking anything would come of it. So I started doing that, and then I kind of fell in love with it, and I just really loved the colors and the textures and loving how women felt when they put makeup on and looked in the mirror and thought, or said, oh my gosh, I look amazing. And so I really fell hard for that whole part of being a makeup artist. And so I started to kind of pay attention. These women would come in and they would ask, do you do wedding makeup? Can you come on location and do my makeup for my wedding day? And the owner didn't want anything to do with that. She wasn't interested in starting any kind of business in the wedding industry. And so I saw a niche in the market that I could do. There wasn't very many makeup artists in our area that did that at the time. So I am looking at my notes to make sure I got all this right. So I reached out to a local makeup artist and, just asked, could I ask you some questions? Do you do mentoring? And, didn't get really good feedback. So I ended up looking outside of my area, and about 3 hours from here, I found a makeup artist that did makeup classes and also business training. And so I went 3 hours from my home by myself, got a hotel, and it was like the biggest, scariest thing I had ever done. I think at the time I was like, 22 or something. And so I really just thought, let me go and learn everything that I can learn. And so I'm married. I've been married for 15 years, and we have a 13-year-old girl, a 10-year-old boy, and a 2-year-old girl. Almost. They're getting ready to have birthdays this month. The 2 girls are. So at the time when I was doing the makeup, it really was about how can I stay home with my children and still have a business. And at the time I would say more of a hobby. How can I have something of my own that I can make money? I, always had my kind of money set aside that I could go shopping and things. And so I really wanted my own income. And so that was a perfect wedding makeup was a perfect outlet for me to kind of just have my own thing. And so I really just did that for many, many years, just did weddings on the weekends. And then in 2012, my son at the time, our middle child, who was our youngest at the time, was going to go to school full time and the following year. And so I knew, like, okay, he's going to go to school full time, my husband is not going to let me just sit around the house all day and do nothing, and not get some kind of job. So I thought, well, let me see if I can take this business from being more of a hobby side business to more of a full-time income. And so in 2012, it just so happened that my sister introduced me to a vision and goal setting class. And it was all online, and it was with this kind of like this spiritual teacher. And so it was a little different than anything I'd ever done before. It wasn't something that I was really interested in. I thought I'll just take it just to appease her. She just, keeps wanting me to do this with her. So, okay, fine, I'll do it. And so it was vision and goal setting, and you did your 10-year vision and you broke down your goals. And so at the time, I think the most weddings I'd ever done as a I guess you would say, stay-at-home mom with like a side business was 12. 12 weddings was the most I had ever done. And so some of my goals, I had 10-year goals, 5-year goals, 3-year goals, and then I think one. And so some of these are 10. I think the 10-year goal was maybe open a makeup studio. And then I also had on there create a product line. So I'd open a makeup studio, build a team. And then I think at the time I thought, well, let me book 30 weddings a year. If I book 30 weddings a year, like that is cool. And I ended up accomplishing all of those goals and exceeding them within 2015. So by 2015, I had already moved from, my first studio was 100 square foot, little tiny studio, along with some other wedding vendors. And I moved into a 600 square foot studio space. I had 50 weddings a year. I had a small team. I had the product line. I was doing weddings, just so much stuff. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I was really headed towards burnout. I had really went hard and fast for a few years, and I was pretty exhausted. And so at the time, 2015, I was coming off going, at the time I had probably done, 35 weddings. In October of 2015, I found out that I was pregnant with our third and surprise baby. So that was a big okay. And, just wasn't sure what to go with, from there. But I ended up getting a much bigger studio space after she was born, our third child was born, and went on to build a bigger team and thought this is what the next step, the obvious next step is for me, is to book more weddings, work harder, put our youngest in daycare and just really build this business to what it can be. And I realized very quickly that I was not where I wanted to be. Spending more weekends away from my children was not how I wanted to work. And so at the time when the bigger studio, it was not working out, I was unhappy. It was causing a lot of stress, and I thought, I'm just going to shut everything down. I'm just going to shut all, the Makeup by Kim Porter that I've worked so hard to build over all these years. I'm just going to shut it down and just go home. And right about that time, a small studio space in the same shopping center that I was in with a bunch of other wedding professionals, beautiful shopping center that is, well established, and a small space opened up, and I thought, okay, maybe there's my sign. Maybe my sign is I'm not supposed to quit. So I moved into the smaller studio space. So I'm actually on my 4th studio, which has been, little to bigger to biggest, and then back to, like a medium size, good size, beautiful studio space. Really happy to be there. But it's a roller coaster. That was a 2-year complete roller coaster. And in 2015, I started to play around with business coaching. I had started to read some books. I got more into the kind of spiritual, personal development books, and learning more about how much your mind plays into the success of your business. And I didn't realize that in 2012, when I had done that vision and goal setting, what I was doing was creating a path of success, because I was so very clear on what I wanted and how I wanted it to appear in my life. And so in 2015, I started to get into the business coaching. I thought, that's what I want to do. And it didn't make sense at the time. At the time, I thought, well, how am I going to fit this in with 50 weddings a year, having a team, having, doing all sorts of things in the studio, like makeup lessons and special event makeup. I was so packed. My schedule was so full. And at the time I was working for a magazine. And so I was doing photo shoots for a magazine and photo shoots for just different sessions for different photographers and all sorts of things. So 2015 was insane. So, the business coaching, I thought that's what I wanted to do, but then I didn't know where it would fit. And so fast forward to 2016, when we moved into the bigger studio, I started filming videos for aspiring makeup artists. And in 2017, I've been coaching and teaching makeup artists since 2012. I started off just in my home before I got a studio, and then in all of my studios that I've had, I've taught aspiring makeup artists and my Makeup Artistry 101 class, and it's done really well. But I realized what I get really, really excited about is the marketing and the branding and the social media and the online business aspect of coaching. And not all the makeup artists that I'm training in my Makeup Artistry 101 class are ready for all of that, just kind of business building, step by step, how to find your ideal client and that kind of thing. They're just starting out on their journey. And so I have really put myself out there now as a business coach, and that is the next step that I'm going in, that I will still run my makeup artistry business and still do weddings, but on a much smaller scale as I build the business coaching. That is where my heart is. That is what I get excited about. That is where I feel like I'm going to make the most impact with serving others, is to help them on this journey of building their makeup artistry business or their creative business, because it's a roller coaster, and it is just trying to navigate and find things that work and find things that don't work. And so when you have a business coach, which I had hired one at the beginning of my makeup career, really just gets you on a path and lets you know how your setup should be, your pricing should be. And so it really is just instrumental in running a business and making sure that you're getting coaching from someone who is ahead of you, where you want to be. And so I think I have that information. I can offer that to aspiring makeup artists. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what is coming, because I've got so much information to share, and I know there are so many makeup artists out there who just need that person that is going to help them get to where they want to go. So thanks so much for watching this video. I know it was a little bit long, and the story definitely goes up and down, but I think that's what most business owners and entrepreneurs, their stories all kind of do that same thing. And so I wanted to share it and let you know kind of how I started and how the story went. So I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.